our last comparison here consisted of 3 parts. So we check whether the letter is A, B, C, the letter currently being E, which is not okay. So we write equals if parentheses begin, and since the letter can't at the same time be A, B, C, so it can't be A and B and C, we have to write OR. We check whether the letter is either E, A, or B, or C. We write OR, parentheses begin, and we check whether letter, which is the cell to just in blue color, equals, text has to be in quotation marks A, semicolon, letter equals, quotation marks B, semicolon, letter equals, quotation mark C. Remember 2 things. The comparison has to be started from the scratch after each semicolon, so it's all the time it's letter equals, letter equals, letter equals. And the second thing, text can certainly be C. There could not be a cell with name C, like the cell letter is. It had to be C underscore. But text within a cell can be C. And if it pans out, we say semicolon, the answer is correct. If it doesn't pan out, now comes the second semicolon. And once again, let's remember, this is the first part of the if, it's the comparison. The second part of the if is what to do in case it's okay. And the third part of the if is what to do in case it isn't. And we say the answer is not correct. So far, as far as if goes, we've only considered the cases in which the comparison becomes more complex. Now let's move on to cases with even more difficult ifs. Let's go back to our questionnaire, in which the second question was, when was the first microprocessor produced? It's actually quite a seminal case in management theory. The first microprocessor was produced in Intel in 1971, and it was actually the middle-level management who made the decision and turned the company's direction, set the company's direction so that even now we have Intel as the biggest producer of microprocessors. So the correct answer is 1971, and the user has answered 1972. The way to assess this is to give 2 points for exactly not only the correct answer, but for even answers that are a little bit off to either side. So let's write down such a case. The first thing to write down is the given answer, and the second one to write down is the correct answer. So the correct answer is always 1971. I'm gonna copy this formula so that it's all here. And let's say that the given answer was actually 1969, or it was 1970, or it was the correct answer 71, or it was 72 or 73. Let's say that in all these cases, all these 5 answers, we give the full 2-point credit to the testee. So let's write down another column here, and it's called correct minus given. Correct minus given. So we do the subtraction. The first case in which the given answer is 69, this result would be 2. If the given answer is 1970, correct minus given will result in 1. If it's exactly the correct answer, the result will be 0, the result of subtraction between the two answers. If it's over the correct number of years, it's going to be actually -1, and if it's even more over, it's going to be -2, this subtraction. Now what we can do here is, since we want to check whether the difference between the given and the correct answer is 2, whether the difference is 2, what we can do here is we can take the absolute value. So let's write something called abs, and absolute value between the two answers is always positive. So it's here it's 2, here it's 1, here it's 0, and in case the subtraction gave us -1, the absolute value is still gonna be +1, and in case the subtraction gave us -2, the absolute value is gonna be 2. So basically absolute just takes the minus sign away. And now that we've taken the difference between the correct and the given, and we've taken the absolute value of this, and we have seen the answer, we can actually check if the difference between the correct and the given is 2 to the other 2 to the either side, then it's going to be okay. Let's write it down as a formula. We write it like this: equals if, parenthesis begin, we write H9 minus F9. This is the correct minus given. Remember, this can be either a minus number or a plus number, negative or positive. We say abs, parenthesis begin, and we take the negative numbers away and turn them into positive numbers. And now we can check if it's less than or equals to 2. So if the mistake is 2 to the, up to 2 to the other side, we say semicolon 2 points. So now this subtraction including absolute function, subtraction including absolute, is now our condition. So it has become more complex. And if it's less than, if the difference to the either side is less than or equals to 2, we give 2 points. Otherwise, the mistake is bigger, and we give 0. We give 0 points. Okay. Let's turn this example. We're going to come back to absolute values. Let's turn it into even a more difficult case. We want to now give the user the opportunity to give 3 different answers. For instance, here, if we are going to answer Intel to the question, we get awarded. We get 2 points as an award, and if we answer a wrong name, which is like, for instance, AMD, we get 0 points. But so far, we've also gotten 0 points in case we don't answer at all. So even if we haven't still made it to that question and haven't given any answer, we already get 0 points as if we had given a wrong answer. So this is the situation we don't want to be in at the moment. Let us make a formula in which we give 2 points for the right answer, 0 points for the wrong answer, and if the answer hasn't been given at all, we will give empty as an answer, empty as an assessment as well. let's begin with this threefold option. At first, let's check for the right answer. Equals if parentheses begin, and we want to check whether H10 equals F10. So we check whether the answer is absolutely correct. And in that case, let's say semicolon 2. So we give the user 2 points. Now, we write semicolon, but we should keep in mind that we have only considered the correct answer so far, and we still don't know whether the answer is empty, in which case we want to give empty assessment, or wrong for 0 points. And we see that we still have 2 options left to consider, which means, and this is now one of the hard parts of our course, we are going to write another if in here. So the second if goes inside the first if. It's gonna be the first if's third part. And now, if the answer was not correct, we will be the second if will be run, and we will consider our further options. Our further option is we want to check whether F10 equals is empty. Let's say is empty, and emptiness in Excel is marked with empty quotation marks. So we'll write quotation marks, quotation marks. Okay, if the answer is empty, we want to assess it as empty as well. So we'll write simply empty quotation marks again. And now, the most important thing. Remember, we had 3 options. The first option was checked in the first if, and 2 points assessed accordingly. The second option was checked in the second if, and quotation marks was the empty assessment. And now, if we are here, if we are in the end of our second if, we already know that it wasn't the correct answer. We already know it wasn't the empty answer. Thus, we're actually only left with the wrong answer, and we can put 0 points right away. So here it is. This is the formula. I closed the parentheses really quickly. This is the formula. We at first check for the correct answer, then for the empty answer, and if it isn't either of them, we always put 0 points. And to one more time recap what we've done. This first if has 3 parts. The first part is the comparison. The second is 2 points for the correct answer. And the second if, the entire second if, is the third part of the first if. Now, if we look at the second if, the first part of the second if is the second comparison. The second part of the second if is the empty assessment. And the third part of the second if is this wrong answer. And that wrong answer is, we already know that the first if didn't get run, the second if didn't check out, and it's always the wrong answer in that case.